Hey everybody!
Hello.
Hey guys. This is MaJeliv. We're the Vasquez family. I'm Matthew.
I'm Jenny.
I'm Jemmy.
I'm Jose.
And I'm Joshua.
And today we are going to be reacting to the film The Sixth Sense. Now, yes, we are very excited to jump into this movie. Our parents have been wanting to show us this film for a very long time.
Oh, yes.
So, yes, we are very eager to jump on into this movie. If you guys are joining us for the first time, welcome. We are a family of actors and artists, and we love being able to talk about films and TV shows with all of you, kind of giving our perspective on it, and just, what we see in the movie, how we react to it, and then, of course, the call to action at the end, what we take from the movie, and how we hope to apply it to our daily lives. So, we hope you guys enjoy this video. If you guys want more MaJeliv content and you're interested in those kind of conversations, you guys can have access to those by becoming a member of our Patreon down below with the link in the description or this card above, or by joining our membership here on YouTube. So you have two ways to become members and have access to more MaJeliv content, as well as the uncut watch-along of this film, of our reaction. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, you're watching an edited version. We're only going to show clips and little moments of the movie, but if you want our full uncut watch-along to watch The Sixth Sense alongside us, again, you can check that out on Patreon and YouTube. But regardless, yes, we are very eager to jump on in. Do you guys remember the first time you saw this film, where you were, or what you were doing, or...
Yeah. I was by myself in a theater.
Oh.
I worked at the theater, so...
Yeah, you got the theater experience.
I did.
I
by
watched
myself.
it at home
La.
and with my mom, but I don't remember a lot of it. So I'm it's a little nerve-wracking because I have no idea. I mean, obviously I know what happens in the movie, but not the details, so we'll see. It's a very different thing to see it now.
This is quite the film, yeah.
The title itself is very intriguing.
Very
right?
mysterious.
I have to say, I feel like if you look at like a Halloween type of film, by Halloween I mean, Michael Myers and all that, it's called Halloween. So there's something about like, well, we know when it takes place. Whereas this whole Sixth Sense concept, it's something that I feel that we won't truly understand until we get to the end of the film. And I think that's something that is very much to be looked forward to. So
Absolutely.
So,
So
butterflies.
let's jump into The Sixth Sense.
Whoa.
Thank you guys for joining us today.
yes.
Let's do this.
I don't like that sound. I don't like that sound.
What are we getting into, man?
I have no clue what to expect. But it's just more like a thriller or horror, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, we've seen some scary stuff.
Yeah.
though.
Not for the channel.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, Alien.
like human nature.
Aliens is pretty
was a horror
scary,
film.
yeah.
Yes.
Never mind.
Haley Joel Osment.
This is
I
a
think
bit more
the thing
psychological.
we know him
I'm
from,
sure.
guys, he's the voice of Sora. So, Donnie Wahlberg is in this. Fascinating.
James
Oh,
Newton
yeah.
Howard.
Dude, you can hear it, man.
You can hear James
This is
Newton
good.
I never told you, but you sound a little like Dr. Seuss when you They called you their son.
Big deal.
Yeah.
We should hang it in the bathroom.
I would like some wine in a glass. I would not like it in a mug. I would not like it in a
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Whoa.
Ooh.
What?
What is that?
So they both see him, so he's not just seeing things.
No, he broke the window, right?
Yeah.
What do you want?
What he promised me! What would he promise?
Oh my God.
Vincent Gray.
Yeah, what do you do, man?
You failed me! But if you just let me try, you just give me a chance.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Man. The next fall.
It's messed up, man.
Seriously. The thing about that profession is you have in your hands the life of so many. I wonder if we'll understand a bit more of what just happened.
Yeah.
'Cause that was...
Well, I wonder. Well, their it looks like their breakdown is similar, like that guy and this kid. So maybe some things will align.
I'm gonna see you again, right?
That's okay with you.
He has scratches on him too, like the guy from the beginning.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he has scratches on his back. That's not a very charming basement.
Yeah.
Honey, you got a spot. I had a...
It's a clip on.
Whoa. His hands were sweaty there.
Dude, that detail.
I just made that up. I went with it. It's great actors do. It's called improv.
Get out of the street. Get in school, buddy.
I know, it's got me nervous. He's in the middle of the street.
This kid, he's just on his own.
Yeah, he's just on his own.
You have a secret, but you don't want to tell me. You're a good student. You've never really been in any serious trouble.
Oh, man.
You can't help
Well, it's gonna
What
get
a-
you somewhere.
What a great scene, right?
Really great scene.
I feel like I'm being given a second chance and I don't want it to slip away.
Happy anniversary.
A little flare. Every photo has it.
You gonna get that?
It's fascinating because it makes you wonder, right? Like, people may actually go through.
Keep moving, cheese dick.
I will not hate or kick anyone.
Ah, the days of line writing. Not that I know what that's about.
Right.
What city was capital of the United States of America from 1790 to 1800?
Oh,
You know?
Philadelphia.
They used to hang people here.
Oh my gosh.
I don't like people looking at me like that. Stop it!
Excuse me?
You talked funny when you went to school here. You talked funny all the way to high school.
How did you...
Stop looking at me!
Who have you been to?
Stuttering Stanley! Stuttering
Shut
Stanley!
up, you freak!
Who told him about that nickname that he had?
And... Right back in the left hand.
She knew she loved you from the first time she met you on the street. She'd do anything for you.
He hasn't talked to her once. He can't open that door, right? He keeps not being able to open that door.
All the way back to the hand it started him. That's stupid.
A little nod to it, that's for sure. Right? The balloon?
Kid's gotta be careful.
So stupid.
What, that little kid's gonna stay there staring?
There's some cuts and bruises on your son.
That's M. Night Shyamalan.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
That's the director.
That's the director.
Your father used to tell you bedtime stories?
What?
No, like, he keeps trying to fix the problem.
I want to tell you my secret now. I see dead people.
While you're awake?
Hmm.
How often do you see them?
All the time. We stay here till I fall asleep.
I think he might actually be dead too then. Because he hasn't really found rest for what happened.
suffering from.
And he hasn't talked to any adult. That'd be the only thing that breaks that theory for me. I think this is our first Bruce Willis film that we've seen, like, all the way through.
We saw the snowman. Wasn't that Bruce Willis? Oh, that wasn't Bruce Willis.
No, you're
That's
thinking about
Michael
Michael
Keaton.
Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
Jack Frost, too. Oh, something's gonna happen. I've noticed the color red kind of foreshadows something happening.
Oh, he has to use the bathroom.
Is somebody in the restroom? Or he's just... That's the temperature.
Oh my god.
That was not okay.
No. It's just so nerve-wracking. This is probably the person that opened those drawers, remember? Like a mom or something.
Dinner is not ready. What are you gonna do? You can't hide me anymore! Letty, you're
It's like his little shrine, his only safe place. But the self-inflicting wounds, that's definitely something that... It's like a recurring theme.
I'd like to hear more about it.
Oh. Probably sees another dead person. Pobrecito, man. And they're like laying out his traumas on him.
What?
Oh.
Oh no.
Those are the people he's talking about.
Yeah.
You ever feel the prickly things on the back of your neck and the tiny hairs on your arm? You know, when they stand up, that's them. They get mad. It gets cold.
Poor kid, man.
Gosh.
Yeah. This is a commercial.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that the kid from his class?
Yeah, it is. He's an actor.
Not a good sign.
What the heck?
Not another one.
Hey, come on. I'll show you where my dad keeps his gun. Come on.
Oh my gosh.
The doggy's like, no.
Sebastian, come on.
That must be the son of the mom.
I'm not very mad.
Man.
Please.
Oh. Man, she's good.
Yeah, she's amazing.
You're so beautiful. You're like a Burmese sapphire all by yourself.
Did he have wavy hair and chestnut eyes?
What?
I don't know.
What?
If you don't believe me, some magic's real.
Wow.
The writing of this movie is...
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Feel better?
Amazing. Just so tense. Oh.
And not because they're trying to scare you, it's just that the situation is
Right.
very tense.
Thing is, it's a very real thing. Like, the whole story and concept enhances reality, you know? It doesn't sensationalize it like sometimes these movies do, you know? Dude, it's cold.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
My gosh! What? Why?
What do they want with him?
No, dude. No.
Oh my gosh. This kid is so good, man.
Mm-hmm.
If he's not good, this movie doesn't work, you know? It's beautiful.
Do you want to tell me something?
Oh.
Man.
That's a cool shot.
Yeah.
So he's going to talk to the little sister because she's sick.
Oh my gosh.
I'm loving the music of this movie.
Yeah. Because it almost adds kind of like this mysterious magic to it, right? It's not something that's eerie. It's just
It's
like
not
a...
sensationalizing. I mean, yeah, I can't talk about this.
What is that?
She was poisoned?
What?
Dude, what? That's why she was gagging. Because she was... Oh my gosh. She's wearing red.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Look out for you.
Yeah, the ghosts just... they just want rest.
Who were you talking to?
Mm.
Just practicing my lines.
Whoa. Man.
That really threw me off.
Yeah, I know.
He's a stable boy. Cleans up after the horses.
Silence, village idiot.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow.
Where is she?
Standing next to my window. Grandma comes to visit me sometimes. She wanted me to tell you.
Oh, please.
She wanted me to tell you she saw you dance. She hid in the back so you wouldn't see. She said you came to the place where they buried her.
Do I make her proud?
Oh, man. Dude, she's sensational. They both are.
I see people. They don't know they're dead.
Mm.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
Oh my gosh. Heartbreaking, man.
You were never second. Ever. Good night, sweetheart.
Oh, man.
Oh my goodness.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man.
Not at all what not at all what I was expecting.
You kind of guessed it though early on, no?
Yeah.
What?
Matthew.
Yeah, I just didn't necessarily know how it would have unfolded. I
Matthew
did.
Matthew.
When
But
did
not,
you
but
say
like
that?
halfway. It was after.
I did not hear you. I did not hear you.
It was the moment that he was telling him the story about in the hospital after he was locked in, because it was just that element that no adult had interacted with him. Like no one had specifically mentioned or
Talked back to him.
yeah, like gave him attention or acknowledged him. That's a better word. Acknowledged the fact that he was even in the room, even the mom, or the fact that he just like was able to go anywhere with this kid, at first. But that was more later on. I honestly didn't. I think what I love the most about this film is that it's beautifully written, like Josh, like you said, and it also doesn't sensationalize. Yeah, it doesn't sensationalize the aspect of ghosts and the supernatural and spirits, and the afterlife.
Doesn't disregard it.
Right, but it also doesn't like overly again sensationalize to the point where you're almost like there's still an honor there. I think that whole thing, like that girl and going to her funeral and
Yeah.
He really, all these ghost people that he's seeing are people that need rest. You know, they haven't rested, and clearly Malcolm needed that too. But
And I love it because, like, the scariest thing really is the lack of understanding of, like, wait, why is this happening? Or, you know, what does this mean? And, you know, the more you discover it, and the more it makes more sense. No pun intended. But it's just, man, it's beautiful. I remember I was confused because I heard you say that too, close to, like, when you were, like, halfway through. But his interactions with his wife always confused me. But I was like, oh.
it's like, it was only a year. Like, I feel like she'd be even more about him. You know. So that was fascinating. But I guess the thing, the first dinner
feel
scene.
so ridiculous, bro.
What?
I just, like, when they revealed it to us is when I figured that out.
No, because
that's how it
when
was for
I
everybody,
watched it, same reaction. I did not see it coming.
I mean, I was so invested in the kid and what was going on with his mom. And I was like, this guy is so cool. He's there for him, all the time.
Josh, that was most of the people watching this movie. No, most people did not see this coming.
Did you see it coming?
When I watched it, no.
Me neither.
Absolutely not. When I heard that ring fall, I'll never forget that moment in the theater. When something hits that wooden floor and you see that ring roll around,
well, in my head,
my stomach
that's when I was like, oh. Because at first I was like, okay, you know, maybe. I didn't really think much of it. And then when that happened, I was...
Yeah, I was in it.
There's a moment in the doorknob when because you don't see his reflection, like in the bathroom mirror, it's like kind of open, so he's not in front of the mirror. But when the little kid is opening the door and you could see both of them, that's his reflection. But because the kid is there, only the kid could see the reflection. Because it's only the kid sees
it's
him.
his perspective.
Yeah.
Well, that's how you know it's done extremely well, because you would never suspect that. And again, the only reason I had that intuition was just because I was noticing the fact that there was nobody else acknowledging.
If you study the directing, like visually too, like it's great that you were able to.
And it kind of, but like you said, it also, that was another thing that justified why they would have problems, at least initially. I don't know. It was fascinating. But,
and also another thing too is, like, he was able to hear the ghost in the recording of Vincent.
Right.
And that he wouldn't have been able to do unless he was gone.
That's true.
Right.
And I'm trying to remember his interactions with I don't know why this little kid. Cole, yes. I don't know why I remember him interacting with the mom at some point, but fascinating.
That's the whole thing, that shot where he gets home.
Yeah, they showed it again at the end, right? When he gets home.
And they remind you that she never interacts with him.
She was just sitting there, and he was sitting there with her.
But most people that watch this movie, they're like, no, but he spoke to the mom. And then they show you the part, and you're like, he never spoke to the mom.
No, in the shot at the diner in the very beginning with his wife,
and the restaurant,
she grabs a check, in the restaurant, you would think, the way the camera's angled, it looks like she looks at him or something.
Yeah. And she says happy anniversary, like she's upset at him for not showing up.
But she's just remembering. Oh.
Right.
Mm.
Oh, it's heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking. I mean, seeing it now at this point in my life, I don't think I've seen this movie 3 times. I think maybe I ran into it a second time somewhere, like it playing on TV. But to sit like this to watch it from beginning to end is the first time I do it since I've seen it in the movie theater when I was in high school. And I mean, it just hits me a different way.
It's one of those things too. And then, if you guys have any thoughts after this, like, of course you can say something. But the thing that I was having right now is just the reality of how death is not a comfortable thing. By no means there is cases where someone, rests of old age and they fade out. But sometimes the way that we pass is not. It's not simple. It's very abrupt, and it's uncomfortable, and it's something that tragic. Is very difficult to face, very tragic. And notice how this young kid, this Cole, he's an empath. He finds a way to really not look at the surface and look past emotions, but just to really stare at them dead on, and it's a lot to take in, especially with him being so young. And again, he is such a caring kid that it really does affect him. And he also has this ability to like help spirits find relief and find peace.
Souls, yeah.
And it's just
Yeah.
it's
Well, that's just it. Every
masterful.
soul that he encountered had something happen to them where their death didn't seem like it was peaceful, like
A
you said.
tragic
Like the kid,
death, yeah.
I think what his dad shot him or something horrible.
No, I think he was messing with his dad's gun and
Oh,
accidentally
okay.
shot himself. Probably.
So that's what that was. And then
Yeah.
you have the lady, you know, in the kitchen with her.
You used one. or
Yeah,
something.
and then even the girl, the little girl. So everyone that he was kind of encountering had something going on.
Like an unfinished business, like lack of closure.
Yeah.
And we didn't see the blood on his back because
They never showed us. his
he
back,
wasn't
I don't think.
he wasn't willing to see it.
He had his coat
Remember?
on.
He had his coat on.
He had his coat on, but also remember what Cole said, that they only see what they want to see.
They want to see.
And so like the door, his office, all these things,
Yeah.
they were based on what he wanted to see. And so
Yeah, because
you
if
know.
he was stuck on helping this kid, Vincent, and that's the last thing that happened before he passed, he would. That's where he's stuck. He almost has to like get over that.
Mhm.
But I noticed this little kid had this like spot in his hair that the other guy had
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, right down here, and the other guy
Yeah.
had
Oh,
it
really?
up here. A dye, like a lighter
Like a
hair.
lighter hair
A lighter
spot,
hair.
yeah.
Well, I'm sure they, that to have a common thread between the two, it's one of those
Yeah.
things, and also you don't have to look at it metaphorically or like as an analogy, but you could see it very much as sometimes kids have a sort of sixth sense, if you will, in the way that they're able to detect certain things that we don't really want to face as older people. And it's frustrating, and if we push that down, then it can really lead to a dangerous place. Hence Vincent in the beginning. If you just say, oh, you're just ill and there's nothing really that we can do for you, and what you're seeing, what you're receiving, it's you're a lunatic, essentially, that there's no way to help you. That it's just this diagnosis, and it doesn't have to become medical and all these things, but it really comes down to the emotion of being able to see this younger person who has experienced yet less life, and yet there's a simplicity to which they receive things. And so it's such a delicate time as well. And if you don't acknowledge this sense that they have, it's a very dangerous place, and you can be forging a child that is not in an environment where he feels like he can be
Well,
compassionate.
it can
He or
leave a
she can be
long-term
compassionate.
negative impact on the
Right.
person, on
Right.
the kid.
Yeah.
And again, taking it that way is a very far stretch, but I see it very much as there is this ability, this way to connect that if denied, because it's painful, because it's strange, because it's uncomfortable, really really find yourself open to just receiving it, I guess. And it's more in the spiritual sense, and in being able to acknowledge what makes you sad, what makes you what resentments do you have, what things do you have holding you back, and to really just take that advice and to move forward. That's what I mean. I'm not not about our own individual realities. That's a very different thing. I'm just talking about a different lens on the present moment and how we can receive that to move forward with a greater grace and a greater heart. So yeah, it's this one is like
It leaves you thinking.
Yeah, well, a
Yeah.
couple of things are hitting me. This movie, for me, at this juncture in life, it has a lot to do with communication. I mean, obviously, the kid can communicate with the dead. That's kind of the spectacular thing, right? That's the
Right.
sixth sense. But it's more than that, right? It's his inability to communicate with his mom. It's what's his name? Malcolm. Malcolm's inability to communicate with his wife. Obviously, he doesn't know he's dead. But I'm talking about, like, even in the beginning, you get this immediate. You dive into the reality that she's being so patient with the fact that he's been focusing on his career, and he's got this award now and all of this, and And at the precipice of this high moment, you have this kid, this now young man who's broken, to kind of give that illustration of what broken communication can create. It creates disaster, absolute tragic disaster. And it's very, very clear, very tangible in the film, but it creates a permanent breaking in his marriage, permanent, absolutely permanent. And it's a cautionary tale. I remember the first time I watched this, I didn't know he was dead, guys. So I was very unsettled and very upset at the fact that she's starting to get with, flirtatious with this guy at work. And when he threw that, I'll never forget that feeling when he threw that breaker, that thing that broke the glass of the store. I was like, yeah, man, freaking stand your ground, dude. That's your woman. And then I was like, but go see her. Stop spending time with the kid. But this was me in high school. Like, I didn't know any better. So now where I am, it's this sense of he couldn't do anything about it. I mean, he's dead already. It's too late. Broken communication, if allowed to linger, leaves permanent damage. And so that's really what's staying with me in this time, this go around. And the kids, or rather the little girl that died, and all the people that have passed, you're left with unfinished business. And it reminds me of the importance of having such a life that we have a happy death meaning fully communicated, fully lived out, fully connected, so that when we're breathing our last, even if it's a shocker, we could be at peace that we've lived the best way we could, which is a tall order. It's what the focus of life should be. So this movie's, it's a masterpiece. That's why we were eager to share it with you guys. Not only is the twist perfectly laid out, because it's in front of us the whole time, but there's themes here that go far beyond, and the performance of the mom.
Oh, she is so great.
She was fantastic. What she
We've
goes through.
seen her before. I think maybe what you guys recognize. I think she was in Knives Out. I know we saw her in Knives Out. Maybe she was one of the family members.
Wow.
Okay, cool. I was wondering where else.
Murder on the Orient Express. We've seen her. I know that for sure. I think she's also well known for. She was in Hereditary, that other very scary movie. I think she's the mom in that. I could be wrong, but. It's just, again, sensational performance, but also just character. I loved the complexities of the entire character, the things going on with her mom, all the weight that she had to carry, after the divorce, and that scene with her and Cole at the very end, was so emotional and so powerful, and brings it all full circle, I feel, because at a point where she's, it's interesting because even in the beginning, when you hear the tape back of Malcolm talking with Vincent, and I think you said it, Josh, that he kept asking Cole questions, right? Like this constant, wanting to fix this kid instead of actually listening to him,
right?
And hearing him out. And it wasn't until that clicked that he was able to see and truly understand what Cole was going through. But it's the same thing with the mom, though. It wasn't until she fully listened that Cole was ready to fully, express himself, that transformation happened, and that's kind of... It wasn't this scary thing. It was this beautiful thing. At first, she was freaked out, but then it kind of gave her this strange peace. I think we are naturally, obviously, spiritual beings. We have a connection to that, to... people that go beyond, right? And it's just there's just so much there to that element. So that scene with them in the kitchen when she's like, I guess we'll both have to just answer each other's prayers. There's a lack of, she's losing faith, right? And this higher power, and there being anything else beyond what she's experiencing. And when her son, this gift that seems to be a curse, is actually, a gift, an ability that he's been gifted, that he clearly now sees as a gift. It's not this curse, that he can actually help these souls rest. It
feels like it's a wonderful life.
Yeah,
the ending
exactly.
Of It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, I can totally agree.
Because both of them help each other in their state of not being able to continue living or not being able to pass away. They help each other realize the beauty of what has happened despite the uncomfort, and they're able to move forward in the direction they're going, and it's in opposite directions, but the lives that they live, the life that you know Cole gets to live, and but also the afterlife, the rest that Malcolm is now able to experience, is because they both discovered the true joy of what is really going on.
Yeah.
And I think it's so fascinating that like dynamic of this young kid Cole, who is struggling with a terrifying gift that he has no idea what to do with, but then Malcolm is also struggling to see how the gift that he had was taken from him in like a second.
Yeah.
And so it's
a lot.
Yeah.
And what's beautiful too is I think, like, you know, from Cole's perspective, all of these, you know, dead people that he's seen, the ghosts, you know, they've all seemed threatening and scary. Like you said, at first seemed like a curse. And now, like, looking back when he was, you know, suspicious of Malcolm's, you know, of Malcolm just always being around him or following him. And at first you think, like, well, clearly, I mean, it's an adult following a kid. Like, you know, it seems like a stalker. But for him, it's like, no, he's the first ghost that isn't scary. Like, it's the first one that isn't haunting him in a sense. Where there's something more. So it's like, huh. So that's why he seems so adamant, like, no, you know, this is happening for a reason. Like, this belief in what Malcolm can do makes him different from the other ghosts, because his type of closure is very different than the other ones that he's been encountering. So that's what makes him stand out. So I loved it, because the whole idea of, you know, after death and that whole process of closure, it's very complex, and you know, it's easy to antagonize ghosts, but I've always loved when it's in the perspective, because I feel like it's closer to the truth, where sometimes they stick around because they have unfinished business, and sometimes they need help, they need closure.
And what I love about Cole's ability is that, as you saw in the end, it didn't just help the ghosts or the souls that need to rest, but also, you know, the mom, people that actually live in the real world. So it's actually...
And that dad of the girl.
Right,
too.
the fruits of it, exactly. The fruits of his communication and his ability helps the people that are still alive find rest and find resolve. So yeah, I think that's wonderful and beautiful. So
what do you guys make of him being able to walk into the church? Because if we think about it, the reason Cole goes in there is because he feels safe. It's sanctuary, right?
Mm-hmm.
How come Malcolm can go in there?
Yeah.
That question just popped into my head.
Well, because they're always welcome.
They're always welcome.
They're always welcome to find peace there, and I think that's I mean, precisely where they first met. Yeah. Notice, I mean, Cole saw him across the street, and he was reading Vincent's papers, mind you. He was himself seeing this kid.
Right.
But who gave him that form? I think it was Jesus Christ. From just by what we believe in, the faith that we have in God and a loving Father and everything that Catholicism is, and just the truth, right? But what I'm getting at is
there is
the
that
fact
sense,
that
though.
they met, and it's like this. It's too perfect. It like this ability for them to come together, and to find just the joy and the true intention of all of it.
So the Holy Spirit, you're
the
saying,
Holy
gave
Spirit,
him
yes, sir.
Cole's information.
But I also think, for instance, that moment
like
though in his house with the sanctuary that he built in his house, when it rips open, I also think it's what I'm saying. It was almost like that higher power, right, was interfering to let him know, like, stop being afraid of this. You need to see this as a gift. This is gonna help you help other people. You know, because that's then it's a discernment of spirits. Is that what it's called, or what's it called when you can like see?
Yeah, discernment of spirits.
Yeah, where you can see spirits. You can see angels, demons, or dead people. Like, there are people out there that have experienced that. It's a real thing. So, you know, and I'm sure there's, you know, testimonies of people that can speak of how it's been probably scary, but also how it's helped them have different insight in life. But Mom, I know you haven't really said much.
No, I was just thinking, I mean, everything you guys are saying, I echo. I love the mom part. I think that there's a lot of details I had forgotten, so it was beautiful to see this again. It's a great film. I was remembering when the guy came into his apartment or his house when he got shot, Malcolm.
Mm-hmm.
He started naming different patience, trying to remember who this guy was.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, I feel like one of the names he mentioned was Cole.
Oh, I don't think so.
He said 3 different names. I think the first one was like Neil or something, and then he's like Cole something, and then at the end he said
man.
Vincent.
You're making me want to go back and
So
listen to
anyway,
that part.
I could be completely wrong, but I was trying to figure out, like, is this child maybe a child that he wasn't able to help, who now, because if he does what his imagination wants him to do, like Malcolm can imagine anything, this little kid could have been Vincent. But that moment when he's like, I'm gonna leave, I don't know how to help you, that could have been what his old self did. I mean, clearly you can't change the past, but his mind may have tried to go back to that Vincent and tried to help him. And now this is the new... I don't know. I don't know. Like,
That's metaphysical. I love that.
It's possible.
Because then he's like time traveling.
Because the scratches, the things he said at school, like, don't call me a freak. Like, those are exact words that man said in the bathroom. And then he also, I feel like that spot in his hair is exactly the same as a man. I think he had one back here. I don't know. I could be overthinking,
man.
but
no, I mean that's not a far off theory. I'm not bothered by that theory.
And if the theory's wrong, it's still an amazing story. I don't think it would have made it better or worse, but I think, I don't know, it was just too close to.
But also the fruits of, in that given situation, if he really just stopped and listened and really just believed and was there present for him, then what could have been, right, and how much more would he have been able to rest in that moment that he was taken away, from this life, that how different would that be? And that goes back to what you're saying, Dad, about how it's so important to live so that we can be at peace when that moment comes.
And I mean, communication really is about listening, right? Not jumping to conclusions too quickly. And when we get out of the hospital with Malcolm, and he's doing like a self-recording that this kid's gonna need medication and hospitalization, we get a very disturbing glimpse at his diagnosis for Vincent. So that's why your theory is very, very interesting, Jenny, because it's like he's replaying what he did with Vincent, and Cole might just be Vincent.
And he might just have a different name because he's seeing things he wants to see. He wants to give himself another chance. Maybe it's just a memory and he's reliving it in a new way.
Well, he's given that opportunity to.
Well,
it's a brain explosion, right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Anyway, but
I also love how Cole's last name is Sear, like seer of other things, spelled SEAR, but still.
Yeah. I was gonna say too, and I know that I mentioned earlier the whole, Jesus Christ, Holy Spirit thing, but death is something that we all receive differently, and I know that
every human has to face it.
Every human has to face it in different ways, and it's formed cultures, it's formed different ways of life all around the world, and wherever you may be seeing this from, I said what I said because this is what we believe is the truth, is
how we interpret
the way
it,
of life, and but and
you can't deny the reality. I don't think so. Of the afterlife and spirituality and the fact that, I think especially when you compare this movie to other movies that have come out of similar themes of the supernatural, of spirits, and like I said, they completely sensationalize it to the point where it's like we're not even talking about souls now. We're just talking about these very grotesque, just like super ugly.
Well, they're demons.
Extreme examples of all of this, yeah.
And so that's why I love what's beautiful about this is the way that we're seeing this realm through the eyes of a child. And again, it truly is like an ability. It's not this like curse. And that's why I love it, is because it enhances what we experience on the daily. He mentioned it and he told him in the school, the chill on your spine you fear, or like those goosebumps, or I know sometimes there's like a superstition of, when you hear your ear ring, someone's talking bad about you, but it's that sense of like you know, it's there is, yeah, there's just always things around us that we're sensing and that we're interacting with, and that's why I love it, is because it almost elevates or plays with that. It takes creative liberty with that sense of what lies in between life and death. And that's something that no matter, again, like you so tie back to what you were saying, no matter what you believe, you can totally I think relate to that. You know, and obviously immediately, I mean, there's a church, for crying out loud, so of course we're gonna make those connections. And I mean, he had different statues, like I said, in his little sanctuary at home.
Yeah, he had a statue of Jesus Christ. It was beautiful,
Right.
the way that he was holding his heart, and but to also see that, you know, we're called to go out and to really just, like I said, the word is present, to be there, and to be open, and to really see what lies beyond the fear. It's all, yeah.
Well, thank you guys for watching this with us. I
Yeah.
think it was.
Oh man.
I was excited when you started guessing, Matthew. I was like, oh, he figured it out, you know.
I was just throwing that out there. I literally.
But
Yeah.
to see Joshua's reaction, I'm like, that's exactly where I was.
Yeah.
In
The thing is, it was
1999,
annoying me. It was
so-
annoying me. It was annoying me that no one was interacting with him, and
Yeah.
that his wife was being the way he was. And honestly, I would have liked this movie less if he wasn't a ghost of some sort, because then it wouldn't have made sense to me.
Yeah. But it was still fun to experience it again with you guys, and it's just one of those movies that there's not there's not a lot of movies out there like this, and M. Night Shyamalan is just amazing.
Oh yeah, I mean, he started a series of. This one broke him into limelight, and
I mean, Oscar nominations.
yes, I mean,
Horror. That's the thing, though, is that it seems like this movie, the horror or thriller elements are really just a vehicle in which to tell the story, instead of like
the horror is what
making
it's all
it what it's
yeah.
about,
Yeah.
right?
It's the situation.
Those are the kind of horror movies I can tolerate. Is when it's truly such a strong story, and it's a part of the, you know, it's a part of the ride. It's a part of the journey. So, and it has a greater purpose, not just glorifying the horror of it.
Yeah.
So
and the
it's
kid
definitely fun.
overcame it, you know, and
Such a
that
good
sense of
actor.
hope. There's hope at the end.
Fantastic actor.
There's hope at the end, and even though it's heartbreaking with Malcolm, there's a sense of closure. But you know, that's just it was great, guys. That was our reaction to The Sixth Sense. We know we said a lot. We didn't say too much during the movie itself because we were just taking it in. But regardless, we want to hear what you guys thought of this film. What you remember your first experience was watching this movie. If you watched it in theaters, at home, wherever you were, just let us know how this movie has impacted you, what it means to you, and what were things, maybe details, things that maybe we said that stood out to you that you agree with, that you disagree with. We just love to connect with all of you. Again, with here at MaJeliv, we just love to share our thoughts and reflections on these movies, because at the end of the day, we hope that anything we watch, we can take something away from it and somehow apply it to life, even if it's, you know, fun random Marvel Star Wars stuff that's just like more pop culture blockbustery, that's just kind of more for fun. Ultimately, at the end of the day, hopefully, you know, art inspires to go out and spread more hope and light. So yes, that's what we did today with The Sixth Sense. So yeah, guys, again, if you guys want to check out more MaJeliv content, you guys can check out the link in the description of this card above to have access to our Patreon, or by clicking that join icon next to the subscribe button. So you have two ways to become a part of the MaJeliv Insider community. But regardless, you being here today means a lot to us. So thank you. You guys go out there, spread your light, and we'll see you guys in the next MaJeliv video. Have a MaJeliv day.
Bye.
Bye.